What is it you think we're doing?
24 hours a day, emergency services personnel work hard to save lives and make our roads safer. Please give us room to work and slow down, because it's no picnic out here.
My task today was to talk about two-way streets. What we ask the media or the public to do when they see an emergency response vehicle responding is pull over to the right by signaling, slowing down, and stopping when it is safe to do so. To elaborate on that a little bit, especially in this time of year, it is the winter months. Windows are up, cars are better insulated nowadays when the manufacturers build them, and radios are on. People need to use their mirrors. Like we've been told when we get our licenses in the beginning, check your mirrors every 7 to 10 seconds, especially when you see an emergency vehicle go by. More than likely there is a second or third emergency vehicle coming. We are tiered response with the ambulance, and a lot of times police are following as well. The public frequently asks us as well, how often do you guys do practice runs when you go down your streets? Anytime an emergency vehicle goes by you with lights and sirens, it is not a practice, that is a true emergency. You may see us turn off our lights and sirens halfway through our run. The reality is an emergency service is already on scene and they've deemed it either safe or to downgrade us so that we're not risking other people or the public by responding in a quicker fashion. The other reality is too, is as emergency service workers, we take training every year, mandatory training. I have in my hand from the Health and Safety of Ontario a card that says I do mandatory training every year. The public only has to do a test, a practical test, once when they first get their license. They don't have to do it again until they're seniors. They have to remember that as individuals, it's their responsibility to watch out, check your mirrors, and make sure that they're pulling over safely. To remember the most is it could be your family member, it could be your friend who's in need of help, and that's why we're responding.
Once again, we just want to reiterate from the police side the importance of emergency vehicles. When they're traveling with their lights and sirens on, they are going to some very important calls, sometimes life-threatening calls, sometimes not life-threatening but still emergency. My task was to talk about intersections. And in relation to intersections, it's probably one of the most confusing things in relation to emergency vehicles. The best thing, the best advice that we can give you is if you hear or see the emergency sirens and lights, to pull over to the closest curb, either to your left or to your right, depending where you are on the intersection, and stop. Let the emergency vehicle make its way around you. Once it's cleared, have a second look, because there could be a second emergency vehicle coming through. If it's ambulance first, it could be followed by police. If it's police first, it could be followed by fire, or vice versa. So always look for that second vehicle coming through, or even a third one, before you start to move again. If you're in the middle of an intersection, clear that intersection. Complete your turn, or get out of the way so the emergency vehicle can make its way through. If you haven't entered the intersection, just stop. If you can't move left or right, the emergency vehicle will make its way around you. And certainly, we don't like to dwell on the negative, but from an enforcement standpoint, if somebody fails to pull over to the left or right or get out of the way, there is about a $500 fine and 3 points that can be added for a charge. So the public has to be aware of that. It's very expensive, plus it carries a lot of points. So make sure that when you're out there, you're aware of your surroundings and you also adhere to the emergency lights and sirens. And we've had several instances over the past few years where officers and or firemen or ambulance have been involved in accidents where people have not complied with that request and have hit the vehicles. Officers have been hurt on both sides, and that also prevents them from getting to the emergency situation. So please take care, pay attention. That's the best advice we can give you.
Is to talk about when you're traveling down a one-way street. A lot of the public assumes, and we can tell by when we're driving behind them, that they just need to slow down and we'll pass them on either side. That is not the case, because we don't know if you're not slowing down and stopping what your intent is. A lot of times we've had vehicles slow down and then all of a sudden decide that they need to pull to the right and cut in front of us, causing a near miss and slowing us down and preventing us from getting to the scene sooner. So traveling down a one-way street, it is important you can pull to the right or left, but the main thing is to remember to stop. That way we know what you're doing. We don't have to speed up, adding additional risk to our response to pass you. We can just continue on by you. And again, the emphasis on looking for that second emergency vehicle. Especially when you're in the city, you can hear the sirens, look around and not know where they're coming from because of the buildings, and you're getting echoes and stuff like that. So until you can't hear the sirens anymore, pull over and stop, and then proceed with care after that, making sure that the road is clear.
I'm here to talk about what to do on a multi-lane highway. With emergency vehicles, we're moving at high rates of speed. You are also moving at approximately 100 kilometers per hour, 9 kilometers per hour on the bypass. Therefore, we're having to go that much faster to get by you. If you see the emergency vehicles, obviously we want you to slow down, signal, and pull to the right. What I also want to speak to is if we have people stop, any emergency vehicles, if we're pulled on the side of the road or on the side of the highway, the onus is on you. We give you lots of warning, you see our lights, is to get to the right. Slow down and move to the right. If it's a multi-lane highway, enter into that left lane and go around us. You have no idea what we're doing. You have no idea what any of the emergency services people are doing. You have to afford us that courtesy and go around. If you're going to go by us at a highway speed, it's normal to be attracted to those lights, but the onus is on you. Slow down, move to the left, and afford us a courtesy. And if we're coming up behind you, slow down, multi-lane. We know it takes time to get over there. Slow down, move to the right, and we'll go around you.